where we got this guy? Let's do a little intro something or other. So we're gonna do stuff today. Things. We're also gonna see how many times I can try to drink my empty coffee, because it's gonna happen. I mean, there's still like a drip in there. It like hangs up on the lip, you know? So I'm thinking about screwing around with, let's see, not this guy. Let's this thing right here. The old school Oblivion montage. I think it's pretty cool, but I like this piece. And as I was watching this the other day, because I'll watch this from time to time because why not? I saw that like Phil Collins' Another Day in Paradise thing, and I might have actually been listening to it at the time. I don't remember. Somewhere in here though, there's like a cool visualizer. Let's see, where's that? This thing. But I don't want to build that. But I kind of want to build this thing, wherever the hell it just went. This thing as that. But who knows what's going to happen. Yeah, that thing is, that movie is pretty awesome. I mean, just the gravity, just everything. It's cool. It's cool stuff. Let's reset this thing because for some reason it always comes in all janky on the first run. We'll make a new comp. What's great is that even though it's 81 in here, I have a fan on, and I found out that OBS has filters for like cutting out noises and stuff, and it actually seems to work pretty well. So hopefully you're not hearing any of that fan, the fan noise, fan action. Let's see. What am I doing that? All right, so I guess I gotta get an audio file from somewheres. What we got? Let's go in here. Work. We got a file somewhere in here. I think it's some music. Somewhere in a tutorial or a video or something. I got me singing Days Go By. Where do I have some music? It's like I'm staring at this without actually reading anything, so because it's hot. Troubleshoot with me on some title. Yeah, what you got? Something you want to ask me now? Hey, what's this? This sounds like it could be something. Hey, why not? Let's use that. Sounds like some vlogger stuff. Yeah, man. Sounds good. Just hit me up. I've got some stuff I got to finish this week, but I should have some time. Hopefully. I'm waiting on that dreaded, like today's one of those days where it's like in between that dreaded email of something set on Friday and you're like, okay, they're going to get back to me. Are they going to get back to me? Am I going to have a free day in between? Am I going to get that like that you know, golden time in between, that just between and you're going to get screwed by something? Although they usually take like a couple of days to get back to me, but I know they want something done within this week, I think, so I'm sure it's going to be like tomorrow. Tomorrow the hammer will drop. But today we are free. All right, let's see. I think I'm just going to run this through like Audio Spectrum, which is not going to work on that layer, so let's make a new layer. I just want a solid, or shape rather. Shape. Visualize. Let's spell that fun. Visualize it. Yeah, Monday is usually the day you're screwed, but if you send something out late on Friday, you might be able to get that Monday in. I almost drank my drink. See, we're gonna start that out. Why don't I have like a bottle of water or something over here? Let's see. Cancel the apocalypse. Halt. All right. Let me throw on some Audio Spectrum or Audio Spectrum. I'm going to change this in different ways. I don't know how though. Let's bring that up. I don't think I'm actually going to use this to hear anything, although I'm sure people would like that. People love visualizers. But I'm actually gonna, let's see if I trying to do this without it playing over and over and over again, but I guess see what happens. How now, brown cow? That's interesting. Oh. Oh, stuff's happening now. I don't know why it's not actually playing it. It must be routing back into not my headphones. I don't know what. Not sure what we're sending it to. Interesting. Might have it routed differently. Nope. Who knows? Whatever. As long as it's showing up, that's all I care about. Maximum height, way higher. Let me zoom this thing. Oops, wrong thing, wrong thing. That's where I was messing around. Maximum height. I do wish there was like a pixel setting or something, because that's definitely not 12,000 pixels. Make it? Well, no, because that would be 12 times higher than the comp. Maybe it is. These go pretty far. Where's that at? Let's bring it back down. 9,650. Look at all those guys move. Let's put a lot more bands in. Let's bring this across this way. That way. I'm going to fill. Actually, I'm not going to fill the whole thing. But I'm going to put more of these guys in here so that we get like a whole. Actually, there's a thickness. Let's do a little thicker. Softness 0. No soft. Let's do. Oops, not that. Let's bring this back up a little bit. These a little thicker. Let's take this color thing off of here. My neighbor's moving his truck again, as he always does when I try to record everything. I want like a different frequency of this thing. Let's bring this up. Bring that down. That looks like it could be something, resembling something. Let's see. That's always interesting, but so keep it digital. Side A and B, duration averaging always looks kind of weird. Although that might work for this. That could be kind of cool. I have to bring the height higher. You could probably bring this down too. Whoa, way there. Calm it down. Calm it down, you. 500. Anybody watching this without the chat thinks I'm talking to somebody in the chat like that, but I'm not. That's just me. Just me yelling at After Effects. Part of it's for the stream, and part of it's just that I would be sitting here saying the same stuff. Let's see. Let's bring this down. We'll go real quick. Actually, I don't want it to be that nuts. A little higher on the maximum height. Frequency bands. We can bring that down a little bit now. That could be cool. It's probably good enough. All right, let's just start throwing some stuff over top of this thing. All right, I'm just going to throw them on a new layer just so I can call this like grid. Tripping out, man. Freaking out, man. Oh, I'm grabbing it, but I haven't. All right, let me go get some water. I'll be right back. Let me throw this. I'm gonna silent this thing. We're gonna test out our keyboard shortcuts on this guy. Oh boy. And through the magic of time, I now sit here with water. Water. Got all lip smacking up in here. For the ASMR crowd. Alright. Grid. Let's do a grid. Size this thing from the top corner using width and height sliders. Let's see, let's make these square. Dead inside. I don't know how to help that. I mean, this isn't a therapy Twitch channel, but I can try. I mean, if that's what people want, we can do that. Let's do 192 by 108. Oh, that's right. I want square, not that way. 10. Except for I don't want 10. I want like 40. 40 should be evenly divisible. Gotta start using some of those, the grid. The grid. A digital frontier. Let's see here. Let's make these like 2. Actually, I don't want these 2. I'm trying to think here. I'm kind of trying to build this in. Where'd that go? Where'd it go? I kind of like how these are blocks, but also that they have like they have the pixel lines in between, like the actual boundaries of the pixels. So, yeah. For some reason, I got like really into listening to that soundtrack. Like at some point, I think I said it on the like stream before, but I had basically I listened to that, or I watched the movie like I don't know, only a couple of years ago because I was annoyed that I had never had seen the original on TV because Disney movies were never like replayed ever for some reason when I was a kid. At least I feel like it. And then so I never watched the first one. And then the second one came out. I'm like, well, I can't watch the second one without the first one. So eventually I broke down and paid full price for Tron because, you know, it's only 30 years old or whatever now. It's old, and I think it came out in 84. Yeah, they never played on the Disney Channel, which makes no sense because, well, actually they didn't own it then, did they? I don't think, did they own the original Tron at that point? I don't remember. I'm sure there's somebody out there right now that would be like, ah, this idiot doesn't know anything about Tron. Well, sorry. I've seen it. That's about all I got for you. Let's make the border in this guy like 5. Let's use this right now as an alpha inverted mat. Hear that guy? Oh, so they did play it on the Disney Channel when you were a kid? Oh yeah, we did too. I think everybody alive had some sort of like weird box at that point. So there's statute of limitations on that. Anyway, I never saw it then, so I only saw it a few years ago. But about that time, I started listening to that Daft Punk version of the, well, not the Daft Punk version, but the soundtrack of the movie. Was a digital frontier. I mean, to be honest, too, I think it didn't come out until I was a kid, like until I was born, I think. It's not very often I get to say that about pop culture things, other than like the first couple of Star Wars. But what am I? Twitter.tv. Did I really just type that in? I meant IMDb. Did I? Let's see. I wonder. Did I set that back up on here? Oh, did I put IMDb? Oh, I did. It's my little launcher deal that I made. I have a copy of it for Safari, but Safari developer program started charging money to do that, and I was building just a free extension, so I decided, yeah, this was before I was born, man. So I decided to port it over to Chrome at some point and just haven't finished it. And then now it looks like you're gonna have to have stuff in the store for you to actually be able to install on Chrome now too. So thanks everybody, ruining development. Anyway, yeah, 1982. So yeah, I was like -2. And -1, I guess, because this came out in July and I was born in May. So there you go. It was like -1 in 10 months. How about that? And it still costs today to watch that movie what it cost in 1982. Although to be fair, inflation really like made it cheaper. So I guess there's that. So we need to mosaic this guy. So let's do that. Let's see, what size was I using for my grid? 10. So that means my mosaic size, where's my mosaic? Close this up. Mosaic needs to be 192 by 108. Yeah, there we go. I can pick sharp. I kind of like the fit. Although for that kind of look, it might be better to not have the fade. So tasty with that fade, though. Let's leave the fade on for now. We'll see what happens. All right, so I'm going to add another grid, which I don't know if I can do that in the same layer, but we're going to find that out because experimentation. 5, 5. Let's make this border like 1. Yeah. Let me hit that so I can actually zoom in. So am I actually getting these in the right spot? No, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. I think I need to make another grid. Another digital frontier. Thanks, Jeff Bridges. All right, let's throw, not that one. Well, I might as well just change this to 5, 5, 1. Let's turn this thing on, and you know what? Let's just make this a silhouette alpha. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Something like that. Little pixely versions. So if I do it that way, I might as well, if I'm going to use that, I might as well turn this off and do the same thing here. Silhouette alpha. That should, no, I need to turn it on. Turn it on. I find it works better if you turn it on. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of that Bobby Duke dude on YouTube that does all the carving and stuff. And so I'm starting to pick up his mannerisms. Like wood. Let's go to the store and get some wood. That makes sense to like 2 people. Well, actually, he's got like 2 million people, I think, so following him. So, you know, 2 million people out there understand. I know, man. It's always just you, man. Nobody likes me. I don't care. I'm just screwing around and streaming. All right. So let's. What the hell was that? Let's see. Why'd that? I hate that. I wish I could turn off that mouse scrolling. So annoying. I don't want to do this. Although, to be fair, they have made it a little bit more easy to control, apparently. But I still kind of hate it. At some point, I think I actually even ran a program that would basically disable scrolling in After Effects, but then it became annoying when you want to scroll your timeline and everything else, so I abandoned that. All right, man. Enjoy your universal health care or whatever. Glad you got in there on time. Hey, man, what's up? Oh, look at that. You guys are... Wait, I'm starting to think now that you and Andrew Embry are the same person. He leaves and you arrive. Ah, there he is. Now, why does it say 1? There's 2 of you. What's going on here? Keep me honest and kinky. Oh, man. I feel like I need a different piece of audio or a different section of this thing. Two's a crowd. Yeah, there's only this chat is limited to 1 person at a time. That'd be an interesting Twitch feature. Let's see. We'll go that far. And man, I kind of want this. Is there like a base height? That would be nice. Ooh, polar. Go down here. This is like 200 by default. You know what? I have an idea. Maybe if I take this, let's do this kind of interesting. Let's make this start point 200, endpoint 960. Let's take these bands in half, I think. And then, I don't know if I can run two of these on the same layer, but we're going to give it the old college try. 960 and then 1720. Okay, well, we got that going. Oh, actually, I want this. That should still be 960. 960, 1720. And then we're going to take this around. And I'm going to put this on another layer because it's not going to work. Both of them on there. Kill that second one. Look at that. Now we got some weird audio continuum. Now it needs to go higher again. Maximum height. Damn, it's set to 21,000. Okay, I don't know what units this is supposed to actually be in. Let's see, visualize it. 32,000 with somethings. Nope, 3,200, 32,000 somethings. There we go. All right, let's see what section of audio we're at. Oh, so that does go all the way up. Okay. Let's see. For anybody new, I'm trying to make something similar to this, but as a visualizer. But kind of its own new thing. So I'm just going to rip off Gmonk. Just call it a day. Let's make this like 1,500. Let's see. 2,000. Yeah, all right, why not? 2,000. 2,000. Could add another one behind or something that could be kind of interesting. Maybe let's do that, actually. That could be neat. Let's take another one of these, put down here. Set this to go to 1720. Ah, that's starting to get interesting. All right, and then let's make this back up higher again. So 20,000 usually the end, I think. 20. The limit of human hearing. Oh, actually, that's kind of cool because it has less bands. You know what? Let's do that to the other two. That's actually a lot nicer. Let's go like 40. Yeah. Where's the other one? 82. I should have named these guys so I have an idea of what is what. This is the total. So we'll call that. This is right side. This is left side. All right. So total 82, that makes sense. Left and right, say 40. Certainly interesting. Let's bring this total one a little higher and let's bring these down a little bit. So let's make this like 15,000 whatevers. I really wish that was in a unit. Not 1,500, 15,000. Come on. All right, you know what? Let's go total. I'm going to do this going the other way as well. I don't know if I'm going for the symmetry, but let's see what happens. 1720, 200. So now we're going backwards that way. cool. Starting to get kind of where I wanted to go. Actually, kind of like that. All right, let's go about colorizing this thing. So, probably want to make some sort of gradient and overlay that on top. And I also want to save this because we're in After Effects and I've been streaming for a little bit. What is going on? It's probably waiting to drive to spin up. Oh, man. I don't know why it wants to spin up unrelated drives, but hey, why not? Let's go to... save it into experiments for now. It's like... visualizer. Let's make it unique. Let's give that thing a very unique name. All right, I'm starting to not like how round that is now, even though I'm using the same thing on those, but now I kind of want to set this back to, where's it at? Oh, is that, did I leave that on there? Yeah, I must have. Instead of this being, let's see, duration averaging, that's too much though. If I do analog dots, that could be kind of cool. Yeah. Analog dots. It's a little weird. But it's something about it's the amount of frequencies I'm using or something that can be cooler. Let's bring this down or higher. That's kind of neat. 6701, let's get like 6500. 6500. What does that look like? Of course, now it's not moving enough. But maybe we can go on our total ones and bring it. Nope, I can't bring that any higher. It's the only problem with this effect. I feel like you can't ever get it like exactly the way you want it to be without doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Like there should, I wish there was like a way to like raise the noise floor. I mean, I guess I could put an effect on it. What if I did that? If I duplicate this, put some sort of, I don't even know what audio effects are in here because I never use any of them, but let's see, audio. I could do like a low pass. Let's do parametric. Of course, this is probably going to slow things down. Band 1, is that boost? Could boost that a lot. And then, see, left and right, then we'd take 8. Okay, so we are, but we want to take it effects and masks. That should make it different. You're okay, dog, you're just dreaming. Every once in a while, my dog will make some like noises while she's sleeping. Let's see. If I'm using that with effects, this one should be different. But maybe not. Okay, you're okay. Hey. All right, you're streaming. Nothing's after you. Don't worry. Nothing's after you. Surprised I didn't do anything. Well, let's see, actually. That should have changed the waveform, though. No? Alright, you know what? Let's just get rid of this. Let's just bring the levels up. Let's see. That should do something. Right. Sampling that layer. After Effects and... Oh. After Effects and Masks. Okay, maybe that doesn't work. I can't, that's very weird though. Let's try something else. Space and treble, backward, yeah, backwards, why not? I would think that would do something. Audio, tone, F, if we're just generating a tone, that should at least do something. Okay, so I'm just going to say that that's not going to do anything, which is very weird. Okay, back to 7. That's unfortunate. Maybe if I pre-comped it or something, but I'm too lazy to do that at the moment. Set this back to white. Alright, well, let's see what we got. Oh, did that get set back? That's weird. Okay. Well, let's get back to where we were. I feel like these got set back too. Why are they? Oh, they got set back to themselves. Okay. That's a crazy section. Alright, so maybe we'll use these as not analog lines. Analog dots. Go back to digital. Set this back to digital. I'll smooth them out, I guess. And make it a little bit different. Maybe I'll just pick a different section a little bit less. 2500. Alright, that sounds good. 2500. It's got a little bit of flashiness to it. Alright, that's okay for now. We throw a new layer. I'm just use a shape. Shape over that guy. This is going to be our color. And onto that, I'm going to use, actually, I'm just going to throw a gradient. Oops. Fill that with a gradient. Linear is good. I'm going to do this to there. Click this guy. Let's see. Let's pick like a red that's like in this value here. Actually, I want that to be the extremes. Red there. Let's pick. Oops. Come on. Reddish fuchsia kind of thing. Let's pick a green and like a teal kind of deal here. I didn't want to do that. Click another one over here. It's close enough for now. Might as well sit this guy right in the middle. 50. Smooth these out a little bit more. Or, yeah, I don't want to make it sharp. So used to hitting enter. Color. Oh, that's going to color with a black. Let's just go through these. Man, I could just do this. It's going to give me colors on their weird places too, but actually I could do this. There we go. Get the transparency from the underlying layers. I don't get to use that switch enough, but it helps. Alright, so let's adjust this gradient. Color on this guy. Let's bring him in. Man, it's only that wide. It's like the smallest gradient. Color. New layer here. Let's call this like a glow or something we're going to do. Set that to that. Do set matte. Pull this actually luminance in this case. Bring in luminance. I'll do a solid composite. Black. Is that really not bringing in anything? Should bring that in. I can't solo it, that doesn't make any sense. Saturation. Let's just do red. Why is this not? That's always fun. I do that all the time. Why is that not working? Fit composite pre-multiply. Let me just see something. Let's do 10 on a 1. Oh. That explains why I didn't do it. That's what happens when you use your shapes as adjustment layers and you forget to actually switch the adjustment layer switch on. Okay, so let's bring this back. Ooh, there's something like just at 1 pixel even. That was kind of nice. Let's do a little bit more. Let's see. I'm starting to want to put that red back a little bit. Let's bring this down. Intensity, make that like half. Radius a little bit higher. Duplicate that. Sort of be able to see it weirdly in here. So I never put my composite back on. A bit. Solid composite, not white. I was wondering if I should put those before. Nope. Alright, let's turn these two off. I like it if I turn that back off. Okay, so that comes in. Real dark like that. Alright. I'm going to end up adding this thing back over, I think, at the end anyway, so let's turn that on. So like 2 on this guy. Let's put a couple of those. .5 maybe, a little less, 0.3. Starting to feel like an old CD player, whatever I had back in the day. My old combo record tape deck CD player. Kind of miss playing those records when I was a kid. Not that much. Alright, radius up a little bit, maybe intensity up a little bit more, just a little bit. That seems like a little too much. 0.2. 0.2. It's like it needs to be like just in between. Or actually, maybe this one needs to be a higher radius. There's something in there that was nice before I had that solid composite on, but not having that on is going to mess up a couple of things. I'll move one of these afterwards. Dump that. Do a little like Gaussian blur something in between first, just a little bit. So I'm adding this back on top, so really, as long as I add something back in, I'm not going to get it to mess up a little bit. There we go. That's kind of where I'm looking for it. To have these kind of like nice little lines off of there. go a little further. Actually, like that. That's nice. All right. Can bring this blur back down just a smidge, maybe. There we go. Yeah, red's a little too much. Let's see. All right, let's go back to this grid. Not this grid. The color. Go back to the color. Let's bring these back out a little bit. Somewhere in there. All right. Let's set this back to like saturation, maybe. Keep going back to the grid. Color. I need to like color these layers. Let's bump this over into high saturation zone. Set that to red. These grids can be that glow. Make it like green because it's kind of green on the glow there. All these audio things on the bottom now. Not looking at those anymore. All right. I think maybe I need to find a different color. Like a nice orange or something would be good with this. Let's see. Something nice about that. Let's copy that to this one. All right, we're getting a little bit of a glow in there. What happens when that orange is like huge? Or was it? Ah, come on. Where'd you go? Okay, it's got kind of a nice feel to it. I think part of it is that this part's glowing because there's so much of it in here, but there's not much up here. I think that calls for messing with this stuff a little bit more. I don't know what I want to do with that. I guess I can bring that down. It's not bad. Let's go 3,800 on that. Go down. 3,800. At this point, I should have linked those with an expression or something. I feel like I want this to be a little taller, though. Be a good way to do that. What I could do... that wouldn't be good. What's a better way to do this? Let's turn all this stuff off. Oh, I got an idea. Let's see. Let me take one of these totals. And instead of doing this mosaic with vertical blocks at 108, let's make them like 5. 1. Kind of lets it bleed off that way. It does like a vertical smear or something like that, like old cameras used to have. to find a good section where this thing is actually like moving. This has become like something completely different than what I was trying to make in the original idea, but I actually kind of like it a little bit. This part especially is pretty neat. I feel like I could take that out and use that in some sort of like UI thing that's not a visualizer. Alright, so in this part of the process is what I would normally do, because I'm kind of treating like this, I would be developing the next tutorial. So I kind of got to a place there that I kind of like, so I'm just going to start a new one. I'm going to call these things like test or visualizer 01. And then name this one 02. And then remember to actually click on it, so I work on that one. Alright, so now I'm going to try to figure out what the, like a nice way to thicken it up a little bit. So a lot of times when I'm building these things, like I said, I'll go through, make each one of these, and then I'll get to this place where I'm stopping, you know, and I'm like, alright, that's good enough for now. But then the next comp becomes like the next task in a way. So that's why a lot of my tutorials will have like one thing, it's like, this is how I got here to the next step. That's because I basically build them like that. And then I junk the steps that aren't really super relevant. Like if this ends up being a dead end, then I'll just dump this one or whatever. So what do I want to do? I want to take my idea here is I kind of like that really long one, but I kind of want to like thicken all of this out. I could do like another box blur or something maybe to get this up. Let's do that. Let's just do an adjustment layer this time so I don't have anything bite me in the ass like I did a second ago. Waste my time. Fast box blur. Use nope, vertical. Repeat edge pixels. I don't know if I want to go that far, but now I kind of want to just see what it'll give me. Alright, so that's a little too broken up. Oh, we're not at the same spot. There we go. Alright, so we can bring in levels, alpha, bump that up a bit, just go crazy with it for the moment. It's getting some kind of like weird Close Encounters of the Third Kind type thing. That's weird. It's interesting. That's really weird. It's gonna be interesting, just not colored anymore. Oh, that's gonna just put white over top of it. Curious what that would look like. It's kind of cool. That would have an interesting thing for like somebody's voice on something. Okay, so that's not where I wanted to go, but it's interesting. So we're gonna make a third version. Dump that. Well, actually, I'm just gonna dump that off of there for now, but I might use that adjustment layer later. Let's bring this back down a little bit. More like a stretch or something. Because I'd like to maintain that sharpness of those colors. It was like CC Light Sweep or something that does that, I think. Not Light Sweep. It's one of the fade in ones. with light wipe. Square. It's not going to work the way that I wanted to, I don't think, though. It's really weird. That's pretty interesting, though. It makes it like a weird, like, 3D box thing. What I could do is pre-comp all this stuff. What was on this? Nothing anymore. Alright, so let's pre-comp this as just like audio and audio spectrum, because that's really kind of what it is for now. Okay, so if I take this, it's already got some transparency to it. I want to like just build it up like that, but I feel like that would be just building in thickness like that feels weird. I mean, I guess it works, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for. What if I put like a random, it's not kind of, it's alright, I guess. It's a little too much on the glowy weirdness there, though. I guess I could turn that down. 99%, yeah. Takes a second to process. Yeah, there's gotta be a better way to thicken it up than that. Undo. I guess I could leave the audio spectrum. Leave that as a pre-comp. Why is this all weirdly off? Interesting. Must have had something weird set up before I did that. Okay, so we'll just leave that where it is, I guess. I moved it, didn't I? No, I'm just gonna undo back to here. That's weird. Oh, because I cropped it with that. That's why. Weird. All right, what's a better way to stretch this out? I guess I could do just in simple like transform. It's not going to matter exactly how these break up because I think their mosaics are bumping up a little bit, but it's a little too much. I still kind of like just this piece in the middle. Now that's an interesting thing, at least for the visualizer, I guess. But let's move on to something a little bit different because this is leading me in a different path that I kind of like. Let's see, graph. Let's just do like dot field. This is what it is. All right, let's take this one where we're at. Let's keep. Do I keep the audio in there? I mean, I guess I could. That's kind of neat. Maybe it can still be visualizer, whatever. But let's add in. What do? Let's do. Let's throw a shape in here or something. Just white. Throw it under all of this stuff. Alright, that's interesting. Let's see. I mean, I guess I could. I don't really want to do like half pixels like that, but I don't care too much at this point. Wrong layer. Let's just call this a box. I could reinvent the wheel, but let me just go to site here, because what I'm thinking would be kind of cool is, let's see, I think I put it in here. What was that? That was weird. Digital grain selection, position. Gonna make a speed slider. A random seed slider on a controller layer. Alright, layer new, null object. Rename that controller, put a slider on it. Call that random seed. Enter, number that thing. Like 14. Add on to position of this guy. That I need a speed slider. God, go to the beginning. Go to the beginning. All right. Speed. No. It's sad how many times I actually do that. Slider control 10. Why are you failing still? Is there something else I'm missing? Effect. Speed. No, I didn't name you speed. Speed. Speed slider. Seed. Random seed. Yeah, I did that. Quantize. Oh. Is that a checkbox probably? Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. I almost did it again. Checkbox control, quantize. That's on the effect controller, not this one. Okay, this one, paste. Okay. I thought I had a different distance on that thing, but let's see what that does. I feel like I should start that thing at 0. Or I just do a bunch of these tiny boxes. That actually could be kind of cool. Let's see, what is it? 10 by 10 is what my initial grid is? Yeah, 10 by 10. So this box, I'm going to make it 10 by 10. I'm just going to type in size here. Turn that off. 10 by 10. It's still going to end up hitting things, although I think if I use that quantize setting, I might be able to fix that. But I don't remember what that's set to. How does that work? Okay, so it quantizes. Is that time? Okay, plus 0.5. Okay, random from 0 to 663. Okay, so I would put that at 0, 0, or 960, 540 is fine. And then I would set it to do 0.5 is the random 0. Those are my columns on this thing, right? So that's 0 to not 192 is going to be 191, I think. And then 0 to 107 instead of 1920, so divided by 10. And then I gotta get over here and check quantize. So hopefully that should show up exactly on one of these things. Nope. 0, 0, is that gonna? Nope. 1185, this is plus 0.5. I felt like that was just to move it over. Oh, wait. What was this, 30? 10? I don't remember if that needs that 0.5 or not. Don't remember how that works. I feel like that 30 was to move it over. Already forgetting how to use my own expressions, guys. That's what happens when you use things for completely different reasons. Okay, so that should be 10 because I'm multiplying the array of those things by 30. Okay. I have a feeling if I set this thing to 10, then let me go back into my settings for this rectangle because I have a feeling, that is off. It's like a tiny smidge off. That's kind of weird, but I don't know that that's really. Yeah, seems to be off just enough to not really matter. I don't know why that's off just a little bit. Not sure. But now we have little moving around boxes. If we do that. So change this thing's speed to like 5 and then make a couple more of those guys. Or a ton more of those guys. I think I need to make my gradient now a little bit less abrupt. Something like that. So what is that? 72. Let's say 75. It's hard before it does the actual glow. 75. So then this one should be 25. I feel like it might need another step in between there or something, but let's see what that does. Now that I have these set too, I should be able to make them a little bigger if I wanted to. Let me change. I don't want these to be different speeds anyway, so I'm gonna make a controller null or controller speed for this slider. Just call this speed. Make it like 7 right now. Hit EE to open that up. Go into here. I'm going to change this to, instead of being speed on this one, here it is. This comp dot layer controller dot affect speed slider. All right, I'm going to click on this, edit, copy, expression only, paste that down onto all of the rest of these boxes. There we go. I'm going to control that real quick for the controller. I just want to turn off the audio real quick and just see what that does. All of you guys. Just put like a bunch more of these boxes. Let's go nuts. I'll never group up enough that it'd make a cool glow though. Let's see. Let's undo that a couple of times. Let's try making a couple of these a little bigger. Box, type in size. Make this big. Let's do like 20 by 20. 40 by 40, just to screw around. 30 by 30. Hopefully that one works. That might be in the middle. 20 by 20. Just do a couple more down here. Maybe like 40 by 40. So we get. Yeah, we went too far. So I think I need to take half of a thing off of there. We did like 35. 35, 35. No, but that's actually kind of cool. 30, 30. I think it has to be cubed numbers if I want to do that. That would be why. So 10 by 10. I can't do a 2 by 2. I could, I guess I could do, if I did 20 by like 10 or something. That could be interesting. Click off. Is that one? No, wait. That's why. 20 by 10. Click off. It's gonna go halfway. I'd have to adjust the shape to be halfway over. That's kind of a pain. Let's not do that. I guess we'll just use cube numbers. So 30, 30, 30, 30. Let's make this like 10, 10, 30, 30. All right, that's kind of interesting. That was weird. All right, let's put these back on. Just see how that works together. Starting to feel like the look of this is interesting, but maybe it needs like a fractal noise or something could be kind of cool. So I'm gonna go like completely different where I was going. Dot field 2. So where it's leading me. All right, let's kill this stuff. And then let's do a new comp. We'll do it a new comp. We'll call this our Fractal Noise. Just throw one of these on there. Make this solid. Fractal Noise. Always name your stuff. Set this that way. Scale it down, not that much. So maybe less contrast. It can be kind of cool to have some in between stuff. Bring the brightness down. Actually, let me just see what this looks like in here. Interesting. Must be bringing it all back up. Or this is still happening. Depending on how I've set this up, it might be grabbing in. Let's see, what is it? I would think that would leave the black. Turn off all these boxes. I'm gonna shy them right now too, actually. Shy those, turn them off real quick, just get them out of the way. Really need to install EJ's deal. I haven't done that yet. That layer, C4D layers thing. I have a feeling this is my set mat. Let's take it from luminance. No, fine. Still saturation. Composite, interesting. Oh, okay. Because this isn't like, oh, why is it set to dissolve? Okay, interesting. Multiply. That's more where we needed to be. Okay. Stop that. Set this thing to evolve. I guess I could loop it. I don't really need it to though, but do it like that. Whatever. Go like 10 right there, somewhere around here, and make this 1. Doesn't really seem to. It could work. All right, let's do offset turbulence. Well, actually, if we evolve that, won't really reproduce the same thing anyway. So let's just do this. Let's just set this up as a little quick. Okay. Do this to have more contrast, less brightness. Part of that is that this needs to have mosaic on it. It doesn't need to, but it looks better. 192, 108, since we're at 10. Keep it 10. It's a little better with sharp colors. Let's do that. Let's pick a different noise type though. Dynamic twist, maybe. Just dynamic. No, it wasn't gonna go that small, but that could be interesting. I'm getting some weird matrix deal. I'm a huge fan of this. I am not a fan. Oh, of course. We got dragged off. Time to stand. Should probably be doing this in 2 different pieces, but don't feel like it. Yeah, whatever, let's do it. I never remember even how to set this up. New viewer. Where's the old lock button? There we go. I guess that one was already on it. Lock. Okay. Might as well always preview that one. Okay. It's getting too soft over there. Max. That's weird. It's very weird. That's very ugly. Oh, you know what could be cool looking like this? What's that deal? Man, where did I put those? Where did I put those? Let's see. Freebies, giveaways, no. Textures, slit scan. Oh, actually, that could be kind of cool. That's where I did gritty in. That's not where it is, though. Come on. Let's see. Let me find this thing. Grid DO2. Oh, you just showed up. Searching too many drives. Oh, that actually could be kind of cool. Triangles. Actually, let's try this out. Okay, works better if you just use the open button on it. Come on, I dropped you on there. You can work. Scale this to like 50%. Let's do invert. What if I do that could be interesting. Position. Let's grab that. Put it on there. Copy this thing into here. Scale this thing back up. Not really sure how that would run. I still need to set up a second machine for streaming too, to speed this up a little bit. That's not exactly what I was thinking. What else do we have that's cool? Honestly, what was that deal? I was trying to think of what's up over here. Actually, let's see. Breakout. My breakout thing. Wait, is that it? That's a different folder. There we go. Not you. That's not gonna work, is it? Oh, they did implement that. Nice. This is more what I was thinking, I think. That's so bright though. Yeah. Mess with that and see what happens. Maybe not that one. There's some others. What's we got? Actually, the new deals on building this could work. Let's see. Just throw that in there. The guy on top. Play more than just the one frame, please. It's not bright enough to show up. Alpha levels this thing. Going the wrong way. It's very odd. Interesting. Huh. That must be on black. Okay. Let me see. I want to try something else. This is the fun part of the process I like to call screwing around. So, let's see. Where's the stuff? I got some stuff I'm kind of working on. Some of these digital grain things. That could be interesting. Where's that one transition that I built? Yeah, this guy. Open. This could be interesting. Makes this transition extra interesting. It's got like a very old school video game vibe. It sucks when it finishes though. It's pretty neat though. Just go through and remake those transitions again. Stand up for a second. Get out of my leg, cord. Let's see. This could be kind of interesting if I take this and maybe do something like, I don't know, some kind of CC Collider on it. It's going to fill up into boxes. Still interesting though. So what is neat is if I go back, let me grab some more of those. Let's see. Got more of these transitions. Oh, that could be cool. All right, so take it with this one and say that. Want to Lumimat? I think that would work for this one. That could be cool. It's not at all what I was going for initially, but I think it's pretty neat. That's kind of cool. What am I doing? I want to get that when it's here, when it goes away. Is that the last frame? I'm going to then dump these boxes. Let's duplicate those, have more of those boxes. I dig that, other than the coloring of this thing. Oh, I hate when I do that. I wish After Effects would somehow remember how that was done. Just reset this workspace. If this thing lived on its own and it wouldn't collapse when you changed it, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I'm sure I could build a layout where this is like all separate and stuff, but then when you want to move these things over, it won't do it. Then I'd have to make another layout. All right, so let's see. I want to change. I think part of this thing that bothers me is the color of this end thing. I don't know. It's just like too much. It's like not red enough or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's a little better already. All right, so it's, although then it blends in. It's like I gotta kill those glows a little bit. They were cool when it was like not a bunch of stuff, but now it's a little too much. Click on this guy, do that, hit this. Of course, now if I show this at the tutorial, I have to show people how I actually built these things, which means I have to remember how I actually built those. Because those I built for a project, and I don't remember exactly how I did them. That's kind of cool. I actually don't mind when it gets bright on that. Let's see. Let's just adjust this a little bit. 3, even just going 3 there is kind of nice. 2. Let's keep it at 3. Take this glow down. Maybe not. That's not previewing it as I'm doing it. 50? 0. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. 180. Let's bring this intensity down, maybe like 0.2. 295 and 0.2. Okay. .175. Let's do that third glow. Usually the third glow is where it becomes magic for some reason. We want to do it real. Not really hitting that much here. Let's bring this down to like 10 real quick. Set this back to 1 just so I have an idea of where it's happening. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's bring this down. Radius up. And then 0.2. 0.1. Let's bring that. I want that like low. It's subtle, but it's nice. All right. Let's bring this one up a little bit too, because I don't want that like going so full bore on it. All right, let's see what this looks like. I need to bring that blur up a little bit at the beginning. Set it 3. Let's go 4. See what happens with that too. Bring that blur down. Radius. I almost wonder, I feel like instead of setting this to add, we did like overlay or something. It's a little too junk. Screen. It's too weak. Something about this in-between color that bothers me. I wonder if maybe I add something else that's a little bit more saturated in between. Like my own midpoint. Not you. And not that. Let's do like a yellow or something maybe. Like a chartreuse. That's right. I know colors. Might be a little too much, but I don't hate it. It's kind of bright there, but it's only for a little bit. It's interesting. It's interesting. Kind of like that, actually. You can get different things out of this thing if you use a different kaleido, I bet. Wheel, flip-flop, flipper, die across. That could be kind of cool. What we got? Although I have a feeling that flower is going to be the coolest one. Starting to get like this kind of like circuit. It's like processor kind of architecture looking thing that I kind of like. I've been wanting to do something based off of that lately, and that's kind of neat actually. Maybe I'll leave it on that. Although I think, let's see. Let's compare. Let's just use this old school deal. And it's a weird 1992 sound. Flower. It's not very different. Flower's a smidge better. Let's go with flower. Although, in here, it's kind of nice that way. Still go with flower. Gonna stick with it. All right, so let's see if I can build some more of those. I need to build some anyway. So let me see here. know what I have in this project or not. We'll see. I think this is all of the things that I've built recently. Yeah, I like this kind of stuff. That's where we got our glitch lords. Actually, I should just call it that. Somebody called me that at some point. I think maybe I'll use that. It'll be free marketing. Sorry, my cables are tied up. Oh, yes. All right, so well, that actually could be kind of neat in the background of that thing too. Let's see how I built one of these things, like transition specifically. These are all built on top of things, over and over and over again. So there's a lot of stuff going on in these. I don't even know what I got in here. All right, so I got a Greeble. Excuse me. Something I called a Greeble. Oh, okay, so that's this. It's one of these JS placement things moving with some random shifting, I think. I think does it have some effects on these things? Nope. I don't remember how I'm moving any of these things. There's some noise on top of it, so that things move around all funky. Bit circle. Oh, that's this thing in the middle. These things on here. These are something I just sat in front of the TV and just made one day, which I recommend if you ever just have some time to screw around. Making these kind of things are pretty useful. This shift. What does this do? Oh, that is an offset. Okay, that's why. Okay, so that's offsetting. It's not. It's just something did I just put keys on it? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so I just keyed that to do that. Okay. Yeah, so old school. Didn't go with anything like that. So that's just some JS placement things on top of each other. This bit circle thing on top of that as an overlay, and it doesn't move. The other stuff under it moves, and then there's a noise on top of it, so that it has, so that when you displace and stuff, all of this like pops around. Okay, so back into here. So that's being used with, I think, practically everything in here. Yeah, 10 Greeble, 10 Greeble, 10 Greeble. Not on the X or the code. The codes are different things I made somewhere else. Time displacement with that same Greeble texture on it. Set matte and motion tile. Motion tile. Set matte with a Greeble again, and motion tiling this guy, which this is just a grid of X's that I made one day as well. These are all in Illustrator. That took like 2 seconds to make. Put all those things together. Got some code that I've just gone through. I think this is just like actual. Yeah, this is some code I had on like a project I did like forever ago. So it just scrolls through. So maybe I'll show how to make some of that. And then let's see. Text generator. Text generator. This is, I believe, let's see. Should be able to just open it up here. Yeah, this is that thing I made like forever ago. I made this in like Cinema once, I think. There's a tutorial on this somewhere that I've done. I don't remember what number it is, but I use that. So that must have gotten like squashed and repeated through here, it looks like. Maybe. Let's see. Some horizontal displacement and position. That's it. Yeah, okay. Oh, and it's okay, so it's been scaled negatively an X by a good bit, and it's scaled down, so it's just like a little piece. Okay. Interesting. Excavating my own work here. This is just like, so I guess on top of it, yeah, it's like that and that. So it's just those little two pieces, and they move up. And then they get wiped over. Oh, because they become solid, so they fill in places is kind of what I think happens. And then there's these random boxes, and I believe this is just like boxes that I animated in here. Oh, it's silhouette alpha, so it's blocking the next one under it. So yeah, there we go. So if you look at this one, it has that thing is displacing it, but it's otherwise it's just boxes that move around. I think they're repeated. To be honest, I think that's what I did. Rectangle, and I wiggled it. Yeah, so I added a repeater and then I wiggle transformed everything. So they just scale up, I think. Yeah. So they fill the screen. Then you add in that displacement, and then you just throw a bunch of junk on top of it. And then suddenly, you're the glitch lord. So. Alright, so let's see. I could make another one of those things for this piece. Maybe I'll do that so that we can actually like see what something looks like. No, I'm not going to save any changes because I didn't make any changes. Alright, so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build one of those because I think that might actually be what this tutorial ends up like. I'm going to show like that visualizer thing, I think, and then we'll show another way to make it cool. And then maybe we'll play on some kind of weird Stranger Things vibe and we'll go, you know, jaunting through the woods to a sound of an awesome 80s soundtrack that didn't probably even exist in the, well, it definitely didn't exist, but it didn't exist so much in the 80s because when I was a kid in the 80s, music wasn't as cool, depending on what it was. There was some cool stuff, but half the time it wasn't. It was very experimental and a weird. I feel like the 80s and 90s, I don't know what it is about it, but like the 80s and like the early 90s were just like this like weird time when like just anything could happen. And sometimes you have like the weirdest like suggestions, like I can't even imagine the pitch meeting for like RoboCop, right? But like it sounds so dumb on the outset, but then you actually like they actually make it into a movie and it actually is good. But then there are other things like they make like that, which is like Short Circuit, for example, which I loved as a kid, but at the same time it's like, okay, we're gonna have this like robot and he's gonna be like doing all this stuff, you know, like I don't know, he's gonna help solve a crime or something like that. And it's like, and then it ends up being like, okay, stereotypically like 80s and 90s, you know, but like RoboCop is basically the same kind of thing. It's like, okay, it's gonna be a man, he's gonna die, and then they're gonna make him into they're gonna rebuild him as like a cyborg, and then he's gonna go and solve crimes, you know, and like be a police officer and whatever. And you're like, okay, that sounds so stupid, but then they do it, and it's like this gritty, grungy like thing that makes sense, you know. It's weird. Like sometimes you end up with like the good stuff, but then sometimes you end up with a like corny. Like, oh, okay, that could have only been done in the early 90s or whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. Now that I'm off on that tangent, let's let's make a new composition. And we're going to make one of these transitiones. Transition. I'm going to bring in some files. Let's see, what do I got? I'm going to put them off the second monitor. I'm going to grab some top secret files. Not really. Half of it is I got to remember where I put all this stuff. I'm going to bring that text generator in because that was kind of cool. Probably should do this in an open window over here rather than drag that over there because I know at some point I'm going to end up with my After Effects file open window stuck on the other screen. I'm going to be staring right here and then not find it for like 5 minutes and feel like an idiot. So, what do I have in here? Trying to remember where I put those things. Some of that stuff has gone out to patrons, like the XBit grids and stuff. And I think I put the transitions out there. That whole pack at some point will be available. I just need to sit around for a little bit and actually like build it. Well, yeah, I guess I could just go into the product pack for it. That would be a smart place to look. Sometimes, like, so generally I'm super organized, and I have like everything. I know exactly where it is. I can even like if if Sev or something is asking me for a particular file, because we share some of these folders, obviously. So like he'll be like, hey, do you have a thing that does this? I'm like, yeah, okay, here's the exact path. Like I know it off the top of my head. But then there are other times when I'm in the middle of building these things, especially because this one was technically built as a project, but also as a product kind of deal. But like I'll sit there and I'm like, where did I put this stuff? It happens a lot with the stuff I put up on like Patreon too, because then I'm trying not to like have it like be on my drive like 15 times. But sometimes it just happens. So let's see. I should build a new mat, but where's that like X's? Those X's come out really cool when you use them in here. Backgrounds, XBit grid. Yes, XBit grid small, PNG, even better. Because that one is already tiled, which is nice. I can make them even smaller if I want. Let's bring in, not you, wrong button. Wrong app, really. Let's bring in an element. Let's see, from my mats. Just a JS classic, probably. That one has a lot of stuff going on. Let's not use that one. It's kind of cool. We'll see what this one does, but I'm not sure. I don't really need to be previewing these all the way over there. I can go through them here. So these are some newer ones that I built. Generally, I think I just use 01 like a billion times over. Yeah, this one's cool. It's just something about that one. It's like the first one I made and just is awesome. Those I made though all of those in JS placement. That's available for free online. I forget. I think it's windmillart.com, something like that. You just Google JS placement, like JavaScript placement, and you will get cool stuff. Velvet is cool, but I'm not going to use it in this one. Maybe it's Slit Scan Mat. I don't know. All right, let's build something. Let's build something. All right, so true to the other ones that I built, I made something that doesn't look crazy like that. You know, just some nice, simple white. I can't remember if I built them as actual rectangles. I don't remember if I did or not, but I don't need to, so I'm just going to go. I'll keep them parametric. Why did I turn that off? Don't. Let's put a thing here. Scale that up. I don't really need to go that high, probably. Let's make another one. This is kind of how I built the other one, but I'll just throw it down here. We'll do something a little different. No, same shape. Same shape layer. Let's do the same deal here. I'm just going to do that for now. Probably scale them up at different times or something. Let's not go as high on that one. Okay, so take these. We use old Flow. Flow is awesome. If you don't have it, get it. You're missing out. It's way better than trying to jump into the graph editor. These a little offset. I'm going to take it a little longer. Okay. I'm going to take that. This is going to be our boxes. I am going to close these down. I'm going to add a repeater. So this is basically going to just build us up a bunch of stuff in this layer rather than just trying to, you know, make an actual thing out of this repeater. I'm just going to set this to 0. I want to mostly go vertical. All right, that's just what I'm going to set that to for now. Then I am going to do a wiggle paths. Actually, wiggle transform. Let's do that instead. So now that I put this down here, this is kind of a way to take these and kind of like build a semi-cloner with random in After Effects. I wish there was kind of a better way to do it. But yeah. Oh man, I just realized I forgot to actually set this thing to record. And I had stream fail because I started talking first for a while and then And then went, oh well. Oh well. Just have to tag it out on the old grams or something. I wonder if I can download it from Twitch. That'd be kind of nice. I don't think I can though, but maybe. Maybe. Wiggles per second. I'm gonna make this kind of slow for now. Transform, position. Alright, so that's that, and then I'm gonna add some more copies of this repeater so that we can see how this goes. So that's kind of neat. So this is kind of what I think I used that other piece for. The this guy, where's he at? Text generator. It's kind of what I use this thing for, to fill in. So that's why I ended up with this thing like tiny, like up here, because I ended up with something like this where it didn't fill in till the end or something. So start that up like that and then bring this in over here on top, which is cool. And then I'd probably throw like a whole white thing on top of this or something if I wanted to really do that with it. But first I'm going to do some other stuff. Next I'm going to build a new mat for the thing. Take this X-bit grid small. Just gonna make this white just now so I can see it without having to change my background color. Then I am going to let's see. If I build this, okay, the other way I built it in there like that, but actually, yeah, I think I'm actually gonna do this. Well, we'll use that over top. That's what I'll do. So let me change. I can take this back off. All right, this thing is gigantic. Let me see. And we'll do this. This thing is pretty big. It's 8K, I believe. Whenever you get these from them, from JS Placement, they're all 8K. Let's scale it down just a little bit because I don't really need to go that far, I don't think, with it. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do kind of what I did before, which is basically turn this into a whole keyframe. Let's move down like 5 frames. Kind of generally try to keep it going up in a similar fashion, but I kind of move it around a little bit at a time, so it kind of like has an offset one side to the other. We'll go back down a little bit. I get messed up. Move that over a little bit. Move it over. Try to be exactly 10 frames every time. Let's move 6 or whatever that was. 7 frames on that guy. Move a little further. 10 frames. We'll go a little farther. Another 10. Go over here again. Another 10. We'll jump up here, and that'll be the end of that one. Okay, so then over top of this, I'm going to throw a new adjustment layer. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, which is add a noise, because that looks a lot nicer when you add a noise over top of it. Amount. Don't use color. Hit the wrong button. Clip result values, yes. 36, I don't think I need that much percentage. A little bit of this goes a long way because you're still going to be displacing your stuff. That's a little slow. We'll bring this back in a little bit. Select all those, option drag them, move it down. Let's see. I could go a little faster still. Let's put it down around 50. Cool. If you need this to be longer, you just add like another JS placement or something over top of this would probably be fine. Actually, I didn't even do that. I didn't use this one, which is pretty cool. That's actually kind of got a nice look to it. Let me let's overlay or something on this thing. What does that look like? Let's try this. I did this on the other one with my the other deal of stuff that I made. Oh, that could be cool. That could be neat. Just leave that there. We're not going to even move it. We'll let that stuff run through it. That's cool. All right. Right back into the transition here. Let's bring our matte layer down here. Let me put some of this stuff up in here. Glitch elements. We'll call it. Put this there. That. Even though that's not really the elements that I was intending, but let's put this in here. Okay, save. I actually kind of like the way that pops over. I might just keep that like that and then let it do its thing there, and then we'll just jump to white. So I'll make this as like a reveal or something like that too, so we'll leave that like that. Yeah, that's cool. We'll put another one of these things over here. Kind of space that one out around, not that way. Let's go down like this. So where that one already starts to fill in, I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to scale it differently though. I'm going to go way wider and narrower. Since that has that, it's kind of cool. I like how that like folds up with it, about the same speed. Let's see. Let's cut that one out. So that one fills in pretty quickly. Probably somewhere in this region. Let's cut it so that those black lines and the gray tones and stuff go away. Okay, over top of this stuff, I'm going to add another one of those X patterns, I think, just because it's got a nice vibe to it. And then I'm going to throw my matte layer that I just made in here, down at the bottom. That already actually looks kind of neat just alone on its own. Huh, weird. Cool. But I'm not going to leave that in the background because I'm going to use this as matte for different things and displacement for different things. So on this one, I'm going to displacement map it. Using the matte that I just built. Actually, turn some of these on so I can see them. That'd be cool. Let's go wide with the horizontal, but I don't want to go much, if at all, in the vertical. There we go. It's got kind of a nice, like, computery 90s hackers vibe. Out of water again. Okay. I'm actually going to throw one of those on here too. So a lot of times I'll just copy this displacement mirror, this displacement map effect. Make sure it's going to the right spot. Put that down here, where that actually affects that one. That's got a cool look. Leave it. Do the same thing to this one at the bottom. Oops, sorry about that. It's like this needs to be, okay, you know what? This needs to be over top, but I think when it resolves, it needs to be like, is that like set matte or something on the one? Or be a good way to get rid of it. I'll have to think about that one. It's actually interesting. Displacing it with itself gives you like slashes. I'll use the matte though. Let's not do vertical. Let's only do horizontal. Yeah, so that gets kind of neat because then it gets all messed up. can see that noise and stuff really messing with them a little bit. I feel like I'm gonna have to make the animation on these boxes a little faster too. Hopefully it still works with that other thing. Yeah. Doesn't pop in as well though. That's part of this X-bit grid deal. Oh, I know why. It's because that's not. Well, I think it's because that is filling in now a little bit because of the displacement on that layer. It is. Let's bring it down. Let's not go as. Let's go backwards. That actually could still work. Yeah. Okay. Set mat. Let's take it from that as well. Inverted. That's kind of nice actually. It wasn't what I was thinking of. Take this and put this down here again. Turn that off. I don't think I'm going to even put a displacement map on that there. Something about the gray tones of that. This one on top I'm not a fan of. Let's just do levels, and let's make the gray. Well, let's go here. Where's it at? It's gray right there. It gets dark. It'll be a little bit, but not much. I think what I'm gonna do is have this. I want to get rid of that, but differently. What if I set the mat to be, no, because that won't work. You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to do another set of boxes. Put them up here. They should be different, I think, from that. I might have to change the seed on them or something. Let's do alpha mat. Alpha inverted, actually. I think maybe it might be better. Let's open up the repeater on this guy. Not the repeater, sorry, the wiggle random. Let's change the random seed to something else. Yeah, there we go. We get just a little bit of those in there, but they kind of go away. It's not something I did in the original ones, but I kind of like it. I feel like this needs to move back a little bit now. Maybe not. Comes in, fills in differently than it did before. Let's see. Let me duplicate this layer here. Turn those on. Let me scale it the other way. Somewhere in that region. Makes for a really long transition though. You know what? Let's try a better idea. Let's get rid of that. Let's use this text generator one more time. We'll use it only like in this section and only this piece and only the beginning. So it does that whole thing. We'll put it here. You know what? Let's scale this thing from 0 to 100. Use that same curve. Okay, should be like over here somewhere because this should be like pop, and that should be like pop. because that hits, white hits. A little earlier. Yeah, okay. Then to this guy, I'm going to add the same displacement that I have on that. Just got to use that displacement all over the place. I think instead of going horizontally, though, I want to go vertically. So let's go like 50 maybe. Just wanted to break up the edges just a little bit. We'll go horizontal a little bit too. 50-50. That's a little too much. That way, there we go. Just a little bit that in vertical. You know what though? Instead of doing this scale, I'm just gonna push it in, I think, from the right. Just let it just hit that edge a little bit at the beginning and then slide over and up. I have to change the way it slides in. Yeah. How long is this? Let's make it 12 frames. I have it slow in and then just bang it at the end a little bit. It's not bad. I'll take it. Okay, so let's take that, bring it back into this one. Let's make a third one, I think, probably be better. Third one. Let's say Fractal Noise. That's what I was doing. All right, so this is not really Fractal Noise anymore. This is something else completely. What should I call that? We will call it, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a matte. I will actually sit here for a while just trying to think of a good name for it, just so I don't have to rename everything later on when it means something else. I mean, this is kind of a... That's really a transition building, but... screw it. Matte. We'll call it BG matte to distinguish it from the other matte that we have, and then we're going to duplicate that. I like to name my things 01, 02 because when they go into file systems, a lot of times you'll end up with them being weird once you get like 11 or whatever. So let's delete everything out of here that's not relevant anymore. Let's change these out with our actual new matte that we've built. Let's wonder if I can use the matte to matte the matte. Actually, I probably could because that one in the background is not a thing anymore. Ooh, that's actually kind of nice. All right, let's see what that looks like as a dot field with the other layers in it. Still has that CC Collide on it. It's pretty cool. This looks like the same thing. Do I have the same? This is background matte 01. Background matte 02. Pick the right one. Come on, noob. It's got an interesting look to it. I mean, everything's cool when you throw some grids on it. I feel like that needs to hold a little longer. I didn't retime this for anything, so... Oh, this is using it for Luma. That's right. All right, well, let's do this. I have a keyframe set up. That's one thing that's nice about the new new After Effects, where you can actually like put your own keyboard shortcuts into it, is that I actually built one for what is this thing called? Freeze on last frame. Instead of doing like just freeze frame, your regular time remapping or whatever. Sorry. I took I made that into a shortcut because it'll make this last frame a hold frame, which stops that problem of if your actual layers end on this frame where they don't get displayed after the fact. So it's kind of cool. So now, yeah, there we go. So if that does that, and those go out to there, they should disappear somewhere in here. Why does it disappear? Oh, because it's a Lumimat. Wait, that goes to white though, doesn't it? It goes to white, which means it's visible at the beginning. All right, because the other one, this original mat that I made, that goes to black, I think. Yeah, that goes that way, which is kind of what I need to do here. This needs to be white, that goes to black, which means I just need to reverse these, which I'm not sure how that'll work with the holding there, but that really should not. That's actually interesting though. It's not what I was intending, but I kind of like that. Let's see something. This should be completely white, right? Oh, doesn't end it. Wait a minute, you. That should be. That's a different mat. Because that's supposed to be transition. What am I building then? Man. Tired, but I didn't think I was that tired. Come on. So this is built out of 0401. Okay, so, oh, wait a minute. I did that, didn't I? Oh, okay, my transition, okay. All right, I'm building these out of mats, not transitions. That would make sense. Okay, it's cool though. Kind of like it that way. Maybe we'll take the transition that I built and use that. All right, screw it. Transition. I need to take off all of that time remapping though, because I don't even know what is going on there. So that does that. Okay, so this needs to be however this is. On a lot of the ones that I did in my pack here, I stopped it like right here where it becomes fully white, because then you can go back in here and trim it and extend it however you want. So let's do that. I guess I can just do that because it's not going to matter. Time reverse. Put this at the, well, not the beginning. Put it over here somewhere. It should show. Gotta turn that off. Interesting. What does it look like in dot field? In dot field land. Am I still doing the right background mat? Yes? Okay. Interesting. Now I'm kind of wondering what the other mat looks like. It's interesting. Wasn't what I was intending. So let's keep that. And oh, then I gotta make another background mat. Background mat 03. Okay, so this mat, that transition. Whoa. It's gonna get bright. let's try doing this faster, but at the end maybe. I knew this was doing that. Okay, so let me go back in here real quick, because that's what was going on. This is that thing I was talking about. So I really have to go here to 38, kill this keyframe if I want this to show up at the beginning. Okay, background matte 03, which now I got to go back and check and see what that looks like, because you never know. I want to just go here and change this one to 38. 38. Okay, so then that will go like that. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I have a feeling that's going to go too bright too quick because we're not timed the same way. It needs to like go away here though. There we go. Okay, dot field 04 with BG Matte 03. This is where it becomes kind of complicated when I version out my stuff as I'm working on it. Okay, that's interesting. Goes away pretty quickly, but it's actually kind of neat. It's like little explosions. Even just this as one piece would be kind of neat. Let me kill these, all these extra boxes, these glitch box things here, this frame. That's pretty neat. That might be the one that I use finally in the tutorial or something. But now I got to go back and check dot field 3, seeing as this is completely different now. It's in the beginning. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I think this is probably going to result somehow in the tutorial for maybe this week, probably. It's not anywhere close to what I was intending to build, but I kind of dig it and it lets me show a couple of cool things off about how building this and about how to build this and how to build the actual visualizer-y thing that we got going on. So let's see. Let's put this one on. Yeah. Yeah, I'm liking that. I think that's pretty cool. It's very quick, but it's cool. And as you can see later on when we actually do this tutorial, there's actually other things you can do with it. So the visualizer and different things. So that's pretty neat. I like it. And I think that's about it. It's been kind of a while. Surprised my wife and kids aren't back yet. So yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys. I am Joe from Workbench, as always, and I will see you guys sometime this week because I have a tutorial to send to you guys. So, see ya.